What's this? Rob McCool no longer working for Russ Suit Up for less? What could have happened that would cause him to disconnect from this company that he has worked for the last 9.5 months? Well, stay tuned because the details are coming. Day, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Time, 5:40 a.m. I have arrived at my place of work like any other day, Monday through Saturday. Here comes the store assistant manager, the overworked Callie. Next, it's the kindly Sonia and her husband, Kennedy. The irrepressible Ivanda is present, and Izzy breezes in. Oh, and there's the always on time Marcy, and of course, the inimitable Rob McCool, although little did I dream, my days were numbered. It's back to the stockroom as always to prepare for the arrival of the truck, with everyone buzzing over how many boxes will we get today. Later, I was running items to the ladies section, placing those items from blue bins into the already neatly organized shelves and racks, when assistant store manager Callie came by and asked me if I was ready to head into the cash office. I was expecting to be given instant ingress into the cash office, but instead, Callie invited me into the office, and she closed the door. As I sat down, I said, "Oh no." She had a printout of an email which explained that someone had reported to corporate headquarters that I had been making videos about the store and showing areas of the store which were high security. There was also a concern that I was using images of actual employees and that I was making these videos on the clock, even recording myself outside the store. So I'm walking around Russ Suit Up for less, recording actual employees, and then I'm sitting down and amalgamating all of that information, adding music and sound effects, while I'm also running Hummers and blue bins and working in the cash office and doing cash register on occasion, and so forth and so on. Boy, I am a talented individual, but I have to say I am a little flattered that my videos were so well done that people at corporate headquarters actually thought that these were real people in the store doing their jobs. Maybe I have a future as a video movie producer. Callie also mentioned that it was suggested that I take the videos down, which rankled me just a bit because by taking them down, it would be admitting that I had truly done something wrong. So I grappled with that I did put the videos on private, temporarily. 2 days later, as I was tagging the monumental mound of shoes that was awaiting me after I returned from the cash office, Callie came into the stockroom and motioned me toward the door. I knew what it was. Gulp. I was asked to go into the office and talk to someone from Human Resources. With great trepidation, I picked up the phone and said, "Hello, this is Ron McCoy."
Hi. We are very concerned that your videos make it seem as if working for our stores is only for losers.
Where on earth would she get that impression? The roots of that can be traced all the way back to Thursday, November 21st, 2024. It was approximately 12:45 in the afternoon, and I noticed that one of my talent recruiting websites had directed me toward a specific department store. It was Russ Suit Up for Less, and I decided to go ahead and fill out the application and do the online interview. Question number 1. Why do you want to work at Russ Suit Up for Less? And here was my response. The Liberty Community Center rejected me for the job of front desk attendant, so I'm desperate for a place to work. Oh, okay. That's the video to which she was referring. That was the first retail rob. She characterized me saying that only people who get fired from other jobs would be desperate enough to consider working for Russ Suit Up for Less, which is not what I meant. And the phone call continued.
We are concerned that you recorded yourself in the cash office. By doing this, you endangered your fellow employees.
I'm not really sure how I did that. I was probably stupid to record myself in the cash office, but then again, haven't people seen cash offices before?
You also recorded yourself outside the front of the store.
I explained that I had done that when I was off the clock. That was later in the afternoon after I had gotten off my shift. I also explained that yes, I had taken photos around the store and I had taken pictures of myself, all of which took seconds. I also explained that I never take a break, so they're actually gaining time. I'm working when others are taking breaks. I explained that I love working at Russ Suit Up for Less, and that people had told me that based on my videos, I made it look like such a fun place to work that they wanted to work there as well.
Do you have anything else to say in your defense? If not, your manager will speak with you, and our investigation will continue.
Well, I never meant to offend. I consider myself fortunate to get to work at Russ Suit Up for Less. In actuality, what I meant by that was I truly considered myself fortunate to get to work with the wonderful employees with whom I was assigned, hardworking, dedicated employees toward which very little appreciation was shown by anyone. And our managers overworked, long hours, doubles at the whim of the district supervisor. It was truly a sweatshop working there, but the people, that's why I stayed. One of the travesties of which I was accused was recording myself in the cash office. For well over a month, the coin counting machine has not worked properly in the cash office. Therefore, the two of us who work in the cash office have had to hand count the coins. I took it upon myself to buy a tray from Amazon. Cost me about $15, which would make it easier for me to sort the coins. You can see that behind me in this image. And also, I called the company, the number's right on the front of the machine, and asked them, when are we going to get a new coin counting machine? The man with whom I spoke took me through a number of steps to clean the machine and run a test on it. It continued to malfunction. He put in a work order, promised that we would have a new coin counting machine in 10 working days. That's been at least 30 working days ago. I put in a work order again, and again, we don't have a coin counting machine. When I left on Saturday, September 27, we were still counting the coins by hand. True to form, though, I returned to the stockroom. I finished tagging shoes, I ran apparel, and I worked at tagging apparel to help out those who worked in the apparel pods until I was told at 1:45 that I had to leave. I was already at 8 hours and it was time for me to go. It then occurred to me that the store manager, Wisteria, must be in her office, so I went to ask her a very important question. So, Wisteria, do you think I'm going to get to keep my job? Well, Rob, here's what I think. There's still more of Retail Rob to come, but if you are enjoying what you are seeing, please click on like, subscribe, and on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload a new video. And now back to Retail Rob. So, Wisteria, how bad is this? Do you think I'm going to be fired? Well, Rob, when the gavel comes down, it comes down hard. It's pretty final. Yes, but you're very convincing. Couldn't you talk them into keeping me? Well, in my previous store, there was an employee who did something genuinely wrong, and I tried to talk HR into firing that person, but they didn't listen to me. They say they didn't have enough evidence. So I doubt I could convince them to keep you, even though you didn't do anything genuinely wrong. Okay, I understand. Then I will turn in my 2-week notice, and my last day will be on Thursday, October 9. Oh, you don't need to do that, no. I can be so naive sometimes. I know what she meant when she said, oh, you don't need to do that. You don't need to turn in your 2-week notice. What she meant was, I am doomed to condemn to ruination or death when you are destined to an unhappy end, to be condemned. I am doomed, I'm telling you. I was able to work 2 more days. Interestingly, I was still in the cash office, even though they thought it was bad that I recorded myself in the cash office. I continued to do all of my duties, leaving on Saturday at the time I was designated to leave. I then went to the Fall Festival. I continued through my day until at 3:57 p.m. that Saturday, September 27, I received a phone call. Hello, this is Ron McCoy. Hi, Wisteria. Hi, Ron. I just heard from Russ Suit Up for Less, HR, and they have told me that they have decided to disconnect from you, and I have your final pay, your cash payout, here at the store. You can come by and pick it up anytime. For the record, working at Russ Suit Up for Less is for winners. Unfortunately, it's the corporate headquarters. Unfortunately, it's the human resources. They are the losers because they treat their employees the way they treat their employees, as demonstrated in this video. Yes, this is Retail Rob, aka Rob McCool, aka Ron McCoy, signing off, but I have no doubt that the best is yet to come.